I live outside of the box. And outside of the box is a state of mind as an artist and a curator. And what's ironic about that is that my day is spent inside a tiny box. It's a vault with impenetrable walls. It has humidity controls, an alarm system, and rules, lots of rules. But inside this tiny box, my creativity is limitless. And as you can see in the galleries, those ideas and that creativity comes to life with art. Now, this all starts coming full circle as I am a child of Pinellas County and a child of artists. And I've gone on this journey that I hope will inspire you to live outside of the box and live a creative life. And when your life is telling you should turn right, then maybe you should go left and take an adventure. So my story starts, actually, with my creative life living with my parents. Now, my parents are world-class artists. My dad is a painter, he's a printmaker, my mom is a world-class calligrapher. So as you can imagine, of course, I could start drawing as soon as I could hold a pencil. And they built a strong foundation for me that was based on talent, creativity, perseverance, and a very strong work ethic. Now, as a kid, I thought nothing of it, that my parents were home all day, and I got to live the life with them, and I loved them very much. They decided when I was about 2 years old to quit their careers in commercial art and be full-time artists, and I got to see the country from the back of the van as they traveled to do the outdoor art show circuit. That's a really hard way to live. And when you think about it, you spend all of your days working so hard, creating art, making it presentable, and then you go and travel somewhere to present your art, and you're weathering storms, tornadoes, blistering sun, and then you hope you make just enough money that you can pay back those expenses and do the next one. And then someone says, "Can I get a discount on that painting?" Really? And part of that was the really physical aspect of it. And this is really inspiring to me because the perseverance comes from not only my mom kind of running the business, but my dad had polio when he was 5. And you can see, when you had polio, you were either in a wheelchair or you wear leg braces and crutches. And so his family moved to Florida so that he could have a better way of life and be able to work with his legs and his muscle strength so that he could stand and see someone eye to eye rather than being bound in a wheelchair. Now, as a child, I thought nothing of this. I was blissfully unaware, making Barbie clothes for my dolls behind the display, drawing on everything I could lay my hands on. But we would get up early in the morning, and I would see my dad sitting on the bed. We're getting ready to travel across the state to do an art show for the weekend. And he'd be sitting on the bed with a broken brace in one hand and a roll of tape in the other, trying to mend that brace so that he can stand and get through the weekend and feed his family just to get to another paycheck. But after about 15 years, with just about $200 in their pocket, they got a couple of partners together and they had the opportunity to open an art gallery nearby. And that art gallery became an arts institution that has been in this community now for 25 years, and I'm so proud of them. So my journey as a curator was a very non-traditional path. I started as an artist, and instead of going and getting my PhD in something, very, very much like Renaissance art, I thought I was going to be an artist. And I took the path of going to a magnet school for the arts. And that opened up a whole world as I was a very, very shy kid. And there at a magnet high school, I found my tribe. I found the skateboarders, I found all the art kid weirdos. I spent half my day in art class. It was great. I had to get up at 5:30 every morning, just like my parents would do, to go do these art shows. And I got on the school bus in the dark, and oftentimes I came home in the dark. But it was a great way to be, because it opened up opportunities. Like I got to open an art gallery with the help of my mom when I was 17. And you think about being 17 years old now and what the world possibilities are. And I wanted to be in my community and help all my friends sell their art and make their art. At that time, at 17, I got a scholarship to go to the Maryland Institute College of Art and do a summer program. And the great thing was I ended up going there on scholarship for college. And that got me outside of my comfort zone, being a small-town Safety Harbor girl and going to the big, scary city. And Baltimore was a big city, and I was a little girl. But that opened up my world to finding my voice as an artist. And I used that opportunity to really find out what was important to me. And what was important to me was home. And I incorporated that into my artwork, and I addressed my fears of being alone in the world and found solace in that. So after college, I started to work at a gallery and found a family that became mentors to me. And they really helped me become a strong, beautiful woman in the world. Just at 22 years old, I felt like I had it all. And I had about 8 Jewish mothers doting over me all the time. It was wonderful. But that led to a big opportunity to work at the Baltimore Museum of Art. And as an art student, I never thought I would have this opportunity to handle Picasso and Moreau and Monet and Degas. And it was amazing. I got to handle everything and hang the works and frame them. But after a few years, I was a courier for a Monet exhibit, and I had to come down to St. Petersburg, Florida, my hometown. And I was on a truck with this Monet painting. I get to the museum, and I realize I'm home. I need to come back here. And so I did. And I somehow convinced my husband to move back to Florida about 2 weeks before Hurricane Katrina hit. And being in a museum field, I was used to handling small objects and being very careful with them. And dealing with hurricanes in the museum field, now I've got it down. I've been doing this a while. But I had to deal with big outdoor sculptures and being a mile from the Atlantic Ocean and trying to take care of a multi-million-dollar art collection to make sure it doesn't blow away in the wind. So that became sort of an area of my expertise. And then I ended up coming back to Tampa Bay and working for some other museums that were very important to this area, and a museum that my father had his own work in. And of course, the arts in Florida still need some help, and we had to close this museum, and I became the last person standing, and have been running this legacy and celebrating these artists in our local community, and I still do that today at the Lipa Ratner Museum of Art. Now, I've been doing this for about 20 years, and I've somehow found a balance between being an artist and finding that creative expression in my career as a curator, and I seem to approach it in the same way. Unlike someone else who has the scholarly background of presenting theses and essays, I've been working on it physically for pretty much my entire life. So I approach things the same way, where I absorb all the information that I can, whatever inspires me, whether it's rock and roll music, birds in the Gulf, or someone's life. I take all of that information and I distill it and ruminate on it, and then I reinterpret it and put it out into the world in an engaging way that hopefully will make someone out in this audience see life a little bit differently. Now, art, it's not just playing with art all day. You're not just painting a painting. It's actually a business. It's a really hard business. Whether you're an artist or anywhere in the creative field, you've got to wear multiple hats. You are a business manager. you are a marketing expert, you're a legal expert, you're doing everything yourself, and then you still have to have the creative output. So when you see someone who's done a painting, they might have only spent an hour on it or a day, but in reality, it's been the culmination of an entire life of building their skills, going to school, and having these experiences that they've poured in all into this one piece of art, a little piece of their soul, and now they're offering it to you. Now, with the art business, there's also the great opportunity to have mentors. I've been lucky to have a mentor in just about every position I've ever held, and it's always come back tenfold where I've needed them in the future for a job or to use as a reference. So maintain those contacts and be good to those people that have helped you along the way. And of course, the arts are also integrated in just about everything we do. And these days, when you're looking into any career, whether it's science, technology, engineering, math, the arts are always part of that. Because now, these days, in a career that might be in science, they're looking for that person who has that creative background to be their critical thinker and their problem solver. So I encourage you to be inspired and to live your life and be present, and don't just go through life and float by, because the journey is what it's all about. And do what inspires you, because in the end, that's what's going to make your work shine, because you're passionate about it, and that's going to make your work look so much better. And you use everything from your childhood that sparks that fire in you. To this day, as a kid, I think I was Wonder Woman 3 times for Halloween. I could still be Wonder Woman for Halloween if I wanted to. That's my idol, along with Princess Leia. And also, those things from childhood, whatever it is, you can use that inspiration. I probably listen to the gnarliest punk rock music on my way to work every day so I can work and go inside my box and be creative in the vault with the rules. So arts matter. You can see some numbers right here. That's a $241 million industry in Pinellas County. It's created about 7,000 jobs in our county, and it's about $155 million in earned income, which is pretty incredible for a county of our size. And my museum is a part of that. We're an entity within that bigger industry. So I encourage you to come over and be engaged and inspired, and come see me in my museum and get into the spirit of the season. I'd love to show you around.